Hello, Swivelheads. It's Greg Allison, Swivelhead News. We got a lot going on right now. We got updates on Key Bridge, as Paul Harvey used to say. The rest of the story. Oh yeah, there's more. We're going to go into depths we wouldn't go into earlier on my video on green rigs. And there's earthquake swarm out west. We're going to cover that toward the end. Yeah, off the west coast, a big earthquake swarm, and there's a whole lot of other stuff going on too. So just buckle up and hang on. We're about to hit it. I'm going to update to see where we're at here. Hopefully we got the chat running right tonight. Aha, I said this time. Last time, for some reason, it didn't want to come up. All right, we're in. So let's move. I'm going to go straight to the news for the coffee club people in the morning, and we're going to start up, my friends. Guys, with everything going on, it's springtime. You better consider planting some food. I'm about to do another video. You're about to see another video on green rigs, which tomorrow, which will really underscore this. Go to my links for True Leaf Market. Use my links. That helps me out. And you really need the non-GMO seeds because you need to know what you're getting and what you're growing. And you need to have heirloom seeds you can plant and get the same thing back. If you don't like what's on True Leaf Market, go to Eden Brothers. Between the two, surely you can find what you need. Now, my friends, there's nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing to fear. Everything's going to be just fine because guess what? President Taterhead has got it under control. He's in charge, my friends. He knows all about this because he's been across the Francis Scott Key Bridge many times in both train and car. At least so he says. Even though there's no train, no railroad bridge across the Key Bridge, but President Taterhead, he just can't remember that. You got to forgive the guy. I mean, holy smoke, guys, poor feller. He needs to be in an old folks' home somewhere. I think it's elder abuse to put him back in the White House. Check this out,
about
guys.
1:30, container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many times commuting from the state of Delaware, either on a train or by car.
A train and car. Well, like we just said, there's a little bit of issue with that. Of course, here's the strike on the bridge. I'm going to show you a video. It's a lot more striking than this. That's a close-up. Yeah. I think this guy says wordy dirty, so I'm not going to play that audio. But anyway, let's knock the audio out and see it there. Yikes. Well, I'm going to show you something more up close and more disturbing here in a little bit, guys. But do check out my Green Greg's channel, Damn Dangerous Views, to get more videos on what this could entail. This is the video that disturbs me the most. I'm going to blow it up, and I hope you guys can sit in full scale. Wait a minute. Full scale here. I'm going to check my video to make sure that this is coming in. Hey, Michelle Young, thank you for all the super chats you send me through the Green Greg's website. Let's see. I'm going to watch for a second to make sure that this shows full screen. Some apps don't do this right. All right, hang on, guys. I'm going to give it just a second because I want to make sure you got this because there's something mighty suspicious about the way the Dali ship, yeah, there we go. You can see it. Good. About the way it maneuvers just prior to striking this pylon here. Now, you can see it's got smoke coming out of it. It's got lights on. There's smoke coming out the front here for some reason. What is going on? And what is this here? Is that smoke? Just some weird stuff happening with this ship. Now watch it. Is that smoke? Or is it... Now look, all lights are out. Maybe it ain't smoke. Maybe it's just darkness. And watch it maneuver. Watch it. Right before it hits it, it's maneuvering right at it. Look at this. Lights are on. Now, some people say it throws in the engines to throw it in reverse. I want you to see how fast it's going. Now, look, it's like it's just turning right into it. I mean, it's like right at the last minute turning right into the bridge. Look at that. Look at that. It's like it's turning right into it. What the heck? I didn't see that from the other perspective. Look at that. Like it's just turning right in. Look at that truck running across there. Look at this, guys. 2 cars buzzing across. Now, you know this is a little bit high speed because look how fast those cars are crossing. But still, this thing is moving way too fast. Now it's about to strike. But it's like, did you see it looks like it made a last-minute turn there? Let's play this again. There's just something highly suspicious about this because it's going along, coming along pretty fast. Of course, this video speed up a little bit. Just look at the trucks and cars running across the bridge. But this thing, even if you slow it down for traffic, this is moving way too fast for a ship this size carrying the cargo and weight it's carrying. But look, last minute. Now it's throwing out steam. Some people say it's trying to throw its engines in reverse. Or is it speeding up? What's it doing? Or is it a fire inside? I don't know. But look at this. It's just like it just turns hard over to hit that pylon. I don't know. Maybe it's the perspective. Maybe I'm just seeing things. But this just looks weird. What? Look at all that smoke. And that's just in the last few seconds. Well, it may be more of a couple of minutes because this is sped up. But holy smoke, guys. Down she comes. Wow. Just look at it again. There's just something odd about this. If you think this is not odd, if you think this is normal, put a 1 in the chat room. If you think this last moments of how it just seems to make such a hard turn there, I don't know. It just looks like it from this angle. I don't know, my friends, but just something looks really strange about this. Maybe it's just part of it careening out of control. But holy smoke, guys. From this perspective, the collision is most important. Boy, I'm glad that car got across. It got across just in the nick of time. Now, supposedly, it threw out a mayday, and traffic across the bridge was stopped after those last cars. I don't know, guys. Is that weird? Am I just seeing too many things? I don't know, but it's weird. But there's nothing to worry about. Like I said, President Taterhead got it all under control. Jeez. Anywho, here's another view a little further out. Now look over here. Over here. Further out view. Let me blow this one up. Some people are seeing this and thinking there's an explosion there. We'll go more detail on that in a second. It does look like something happened there. Are there gas lines in this bridge? Some bridge carries gas lines. The gas line, is a result of the impact or something else? Some people are calling suspicion on that. We'll have a close-up of that in a moment. There, right there. Well, there's a lot of power lines going through this bridge, or it could be gas lines going through. That could be what's happening. It could be a power line, gas line. There's power all over the bridge. I mean, you see the lights going out. But look, it's a fact of the matter. If you hit a bridge pylon with a ship that size, it's coming down. The whole thing will come down here, regardless of whatever else may or may not be on the bridge. Here's the person watching. Ooh. Catastrophic. Catastrophic. Nothing short of catastrophic. We're going to go to Google Earth and look at this thing too. Now, General Mike Flynn had been saying for the past several weeks to expect a black swan event, a major black swan event. He's been saying this for the last several weeks. He's been saying that there's like no way President Taterhead is going to win a re-election or his side. And the state of great depths, shall we say, may be, according to him, inclined to do something to remain in power. Now, I'm not sure that this is sufficient, but he calls this a black swan. Maybe it would be a step in that direction should his theories pan out. I don't know, my friends, but he's saying black swans normally come out of the world of finance, not militarily, or not military. The standard operating procedures for all U.S. ports, harbors, and bays that transit commerce and military activities are supposed to maintain an incredible level of discipline, rigor, and awareness of these type of events do not occur, ever. Yet, here we are. There are harbor masters for every single one of these transit points in America that are in charge of assuring the safety of navigation. Start there. Now, one thing we do know is the actual crew of the ship weren't supposed to be running at that point in time. It's actually supposed to have been the locals, the harbor personnel that was actually supposedly running the ship at that point in time. I don't know. So this is highly interesting, but it gets more interesting than that. You know, there's all kind of theory. Now, some people posted videos showing major explosions on a bridge and claiming it's this bridge, but it turned out those videos were actually the Kirk Strait Bridge explosions when it was hit back, what, about a year ago or something like that. Now, Laura Logan made a real pointy post. Now, she is a journalist who is not in great favor by some sources, but she used to work for, I believe, 60 Minutes. She's probably worked for Fox and other sources in the past. She's claiming, I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just saying Laura Logan is claiming multiple intel sources. Baltimore bridge collapse was absolutely brilliant strategic attack on U.S. critical infrastructure, most likely cyber, and our intel agencies know it. In information warfare terms, they just divided the U.S. along the Mason-Dixon line, exactly like the Civil War. What movie is coming out in a couple of weeks? Civil War. I don't know. Second busiest strategic roadway in the nation for hazardous material, now down for 4 to 5 years. We'll go over that more in a little bit, which is how long they say it will take to recover. Bridge was built specifically to move hazardous material, fuel, diesel, propane, gas, nitrogen, highly flammable materials, chemicals, and oversized cargo that cannot fit in the tunnels. That supply chain now crippled. She left the is out. Make no mistake, this, according to her, now this is not me talking, make no mistake, this was an extraordinary attack in terms of planning, timing, and execution. She says the two critical components on the bridge are the two load-bearing pylons on each end closest to the shore. They are bigger, thicker, and deeper than anything else. These are the anchor points, and they knew that hitting either one of them would be a fatal wound to the integrity of the bridge. Half a mile of bridge went in the water. Likely you would have built a new one. Also, I don't know what she says, also caused so much damage to the structural integrity of the bottom concrete part you cannot see and won't know until they take the wreckage apart. Structural destruction likely absolute. Attack perfectly targeted. Well, I don't know, but you know, it's funny how it looks like that ship moved, and it's also funny how fast it was moving, seemingly. Jason Avers, our good friend from agro forestry, he might join us later here. He made a comment on the video posted on Green Rex talking about how fast this ship was moving. He said it was moving far faster than the rules permit inside an inland waterway like that. I don't know. It's highly suspicious, guys. He said she went on to say they figured out how to bring us down. As long as you stay away from the teeth of the U.S. military, you can pick the U.S. apart. We are arrogant and ignorant. Lethal combination. Yeah, we are arrogant and ignorant. Obama said, according to her, they would fundamentally change America, and they did. We are in a free fall ride on a roller coaster right now. No brakes, just picking up speed, excuse me. So, and she goes much on this. I won't read everything here. She said, you should have a harbor pilot on board a boat. Supposedly they did. You're not supposed to traverse any obstacles without a harbor pilot. Supposedly they had that. Hit it with enough kinetic energy and knock the load-bearing pylon out from under the highway, which fatally weakens the span. And then 50% of the bridge fell in the water. Well, everything that was part of that span fell, as you saw. So anyway, she says, when you choke off Baltimore, you have cut the main north-south hazardous corridor, I-95, in half. So they can't go through the regular I-95. They have to go around the 695 with that kind of materials. Now you have to go around the city or go somewhere else, much further out. To move some of the cargo through the tunnel, you may be able to get a permit, but those are slow to get and require an escort system that is expensive and has to be done right. For every $100 that goes into the city, 12 comes from shipping. I believe this will cripple the city of Baltimore at a time when they do not have the resources to recover. Baltimore is a very depressed city. It's been a good while since I've been in Baltimore. I used to go through there sometimes when I go to Washington, D.C., especially if I was going to some of the meetings of the National Space Society that I attended up there and other functions that I would do, often running the halls of Congress. And I remember broad daylight pulling up to an intersection, a red light, not some rinky-dink thing out in the middle of the ghetto. And I was approached at the red light by a drug pusher trying to sell me drugs. This was like probably 15 or more years ago. What's it like now? That shocked me. It's like, gee, I don't know, guys. Anyway, Raw Story is an extreme left-leaning source, and they are banging hard on her here. Ex-60 Minutes reporter unleashes bizarre Baltimore Bridge conspiracy theory. So that's the other side, how they're viewing this. And again, this is a far left-leaning rag here, Raw Story. I don't take anything they say too literal. Now, this is posted on Facebook here. And this is a guy pointing to these explosions. Let's see if I can get this to play. It's muted.
Oh, skewing off as the bridge collapses. Watch. Goes along. Watch. See that? Look.
There.
Little explosions. Okay. Why is a bridge that's been hit by a ship?
Anyway, so that's what he's jumping on there. And like it could have been gas lines. It could have been power lines and gas lines together. I don't know, guys. Seems like an accident. May have been an accident. Absolutely may have been an accident. I'm not saying it wasn't, but it did look kind of funny how it appeared to steer at the very end, although that could have been accidental. That could have been just part of the malfunction. Whatever the case is, it's a tragedy. Jesse Mill says Greg Dems blame others for what they do. Yeah, amen to that. They're also very generous with other people's money. I think that's a definition of one of the definitions of a Democrat. Now, the Port of Baltimore, it seems to be totally sealed off. The Port of Baltimore. This is the port that all these ships are going in and out of here. Here's an aerial view showing just how all the port facilities in there. That's those big Chinese cranes. Oh, I need to get out of this picture mode here. I just want to show you. There we go. Thank you for getting me out of that. All right, I just want to show you here that the Port of Baltimore is like it's like the 11th most busy port out of, I believe, 36 in America. Let's see, there's some stats on that here. And in terms of financial stuff that goes through, it's even bigger than that. So it currently ranked 8th. Oh, no, it's currently ranked 8th of 36 ports in the U.S. for gross tonnage. 8th. This is the 8th busiest port in terms of gross tonnage and 7th in terms of dollar value. I was wrong. I said 11th. It's the 8th out of 36. So out of 36 U.S. ports, this is the 8th busiest in terms of tonnage, and it ranks 7th in terms of dollar value. So this is a very busy port. Very busy. Here's the bridge that was taken down. Quite a span there. I may have crossed this bridge on one occasion. Well, I think the bridge I crossed was a different one. The one I crossed, I think it was further down. I think I crossed the Chesapeake Bay Bridge or something from the very south end of the peninsula down there with Virginia and so forth. Across the Chesapeake, whatever it was real high up. Geez. Anyway, guys, let's go stop here. Let's go to Google Earth for a minute. And we're going to go to Google Earth because there's something I want to show you about that. Because somebody told me, oh, Greg, don't worry because the ships can go around another way. They were saying, oh, they can go around the inland, waterway. I don't think they can get to it from the Port of Baltimore. I'll show you why. This is the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Yeah, Francis Scott Key, named after the guy who wrote the national anthem. Interesting that that kind of symbology would be involved in what's taken down here. Again, it could be totally coincidental. This is that port area. I want you to look at all the port facilities here. I mean, way up into here even. I mean, there are docks all around here, all kind of ships, all manner and sizes. This is a busy major port area, even back over in here. Now somebody says, "Oh, Greg, they can go around this." Now, by the way, this is not waterways; those are roadways. There, for some reason, they look black on this. Let me span out a little bit here more, and you tell me how they're supposed to get out of here with cargo. They got a waterway here that stops here. It don't go up across. These waterways here don't go out and up across. I don't see any other, looking all around there. I've looked around here real close. I've zoomed in and looked around here. Somebody said, "Oh, the ships can go around, blah, 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 blah." And somebody made a comment on my Green Rigs video. Somebody needs to explain that to me because I don't see it. And all the sources I'm hearing say that they're not going to be able to get in and out of here until this bridge is, all this debris is removed. How long is that going to take? That's a major undertaking to move all that debris. Now, maybe they can get it out fairly fast. I don't know. But in the meantime, this port's cut off. Very busy port. Look, we got Fort McHenry in there, a historical port site. I guess that's why you got this called the Francis Scott Key Bridge here, right? Another ancient, what is that? So I don't see another way in and out of here. If anybody else knows another way in and out, tell me. I fail to see it. I mean, look up here. Whoops, scrolling wrong. See, all that stops before you get to the interstate there. There's no channel. There's no canal. That's roadways. It's got a bridge across there. Canals don't have bridges across. And believe me, I've already scanned in and looked closer at this stuff. This waterway here terminates into a creek, into nothing. Same with this one. There's no navigable waterway in and out for this port except to go through here, as far as I can tell. It's likely. It might be a naval base here. What's that? Or it could just be an industrial area. This area is known as an industrial area. Fleet Car Office. WWIII Building 502B. Well, there's definitely some military history in this area. If nothing else, the old Fort McHenry site. Very traditional, old-fashioned fort there. All right, we're going to stop the share. Hello. We're going to go back to the articles. Let's see where I'm at. I got too many things popping down here. The bridge is going to be down for years. Avoid the entire metro area if possible. That's in Reddit. I got to change this a little bit. The screen here is too wide. Can't make it navigate properly. There we go. So, anyway. Yeah, there's something like This person says 30,000 cars a day across the bridge. I heard like 25 or other numbers elsewhere. I don't know, but guys, here it is. There's the key aspects of this bridge. It's used for transport of hazardous materials. That's one of the main functions of this bridge. Oversized and overweight permit process. Just like this is kind of like the lady over here was telling us, the journalist that's been challenged, but this is what this bridge permits. It is the main thoroughfare, that area, for hazardous materials, because it can't go through the tunnels that go like I-95 straight through town and other places. So they got to make a big way around to get around this now. Oops. Now, this article claims that part of the problem is that ships are getting bigger. It's making accidents like the Baltimore bridge collapse more complicated. Well, now that part is true. Very rare. Well, they have to be very rare. Holy smoke, guys. If it wasn't very rare, we wouldn't permit it, would we? All right, guys, there's going to be some financial disruption to all this. You might want to check out Defy the Grid. If you go to Defy the Grid, use the code GreenGregs. You get 1% off if you want to buy gold, silver, or platinum. I like the gold backs. I've mentioned that to you guys many times because it's gold and small fungible amounts in a bill form. You can put it in your wallet. Anyway, we're still there. Let's go to another link now. This is another article talking about Laura Logan sounding alarms on this stuff. Well, we've already covered that, I think. So now, maybe that was an accident. I tend on that side of the equation, because I think it was. But what I worry about is that this could be indicative of what some of the sleeper cells might have in mind to do. It doesn't help. The Harvard is screening the movie on domestic terrorism about people blowing up American pipelines. Are they like encouraging this? Why are they screening the movie on that? Holy smoke, guys. Our infrastructure is at risk. If you don't believe our infrastructure is at risk, then what is there to think, guys? I am really concerned about that. Of course, I mentioned in the Green Greg's channel about the oversized cranes that come from China that are being monitored. Again, I don't think that directly had anything to do with this, but that is not good and it could in the future. And talking about monitoring of our assets, our critical infrastructure, this article says the biggest threat from China is right under our noses. It's on our screens. Here it's talking about all the PC boards and everything come from China has technology in it where they can monitor you. And this is more extensive than even what I was talking about earlier. Like it's in everything. So watch out, guys. No wonder they're able to get their software in all our systems, even our defense systems, Volt Typhoon and many doing that, which is an organization, hacking organization, and many others that are hacking us, guys.
Closing bell. We are now 5 minutes away. The whole stampeding toward the closing bell here. The NASDAQ.
No, stop playing. I hate it when something jumps up and starts going blah, 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 blah. And Fox is the worst one for that. Sometimes I won't even open Fox for that. All right, now I'm off. Where was I at? That is disconcerting. I may have to shut that site down if it won't shut up. All right, U.S. military thinks China's the biggest threat faced since World War II. You think? You've never heard me say that now, have you? But this is from U.S. Admiral John C. Aquilino, however you pronounce that. I'm probably murdering his name, not intentionally, just because I haven't heard anybody say it. But anyway, he was testifying this to Congress. Our most present national security threat. So we're changing here. We're going to cover other news. We covered that bridge. So we're going to go through a few other things here. Chinese assaults on the Philippines, shipping intensifying. U.S. military could be drawn in. And they're talking about the water cannon attack that just occurred. You know, this has been going on, but they just done another. Or two Chinese Coast Guard ships hit the Philippine Navy, operating supply boat with water cannons, damaged the ship and injured sailors on board. So this is getting serious. At some point, we may be drawn into this. But now here's the strange thing. Our immigration loopholes aren't just here, they're everywhere. Chinese citizens entering U.S. island of Guam illegally. Chinese citizens. Now, what could go wrong with that? Guam is where we got our main Air Force base and naval base out there in areas, U.S. territory. Could they be in there with ill intention? What damage could they do if they form sleeper cells where we might be the most critical base if we get into a war with China? Why does our immigration allow this kind of stuff? Why? Why? Big tide half out. Anyway, guys, yeah, Steve Poplar is real good on covering a lot of shortages. Everybody check out the Poplar report on YouTube. Go over there and subscribe and tell them I sent you. China and Russia learn not even their ships are safe in the Red Sea. I told you them honey badgers, as Nate over in Canadian Purple likes to call them, in the Houthis, they're attacking everybody. Anything that moves through the Red Sea. And we're wasting our missiles defending a sea that probably nobody wants to transit through anymore. We're playing whack-a-mole, and it's a very expensive game of whack-a-mole and wasting ammo that we might need elsewhere. I think we just need to pull out. Anyway, Trump's telling Israel it made a big mistake. He said, if you don't hurry up and end this war, you're going to turn the world against you. Well, I think we already know that's happened. Probably already. All right, it may get worse. Palestinian, now get this, you know, President Taterhead made a big deal out of trying to send some aid packages to the Palestine, right? Palestinians drown trying to reach Gaza aid airdrop by U.S. into the sea. Wow, guys, you can't make this stuff up. President Taterhead's in charge. What is there to worry about? Pentagon confirms 3 of 18 packages airdrop Monday had parachute malfunctions. And Palestinians drowned trying to get to them. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Can't make it up. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing the links. Now ISIS is saying, hey, Russia, you tortured our guys that you captured. And they did it. They horrendously did so. I'm not going to mention what they did, because YT would, this platform would spank me for it hard. So I'm not going to mention it, but what happened to those guys, of course, I can understand why the people would be mad at them, but that's prompted ISIS to say, hey, yeah, you're going to get another one. We're going to avenge our guys for what you did. So watch out in Russia and elsewhere. Anyway, now Putin, he's wanting to push this war over there to an end. Now they've admitted it's not a police action anymore, a special operation, excuse me, to use their terms. They're now using the word war. You know, the Eisenhower, but we had another Nixon. Oh, okay, David. Take Kharkiv or push to Kiev. Now, maybe this whole Kharkiv thing is a sleight of hand. It might be that Russia will just push straight into Kiev. As we're saying here, that the Russian elite believe Putin's considering 2 options to end the war, a major push. So they might be doing a major push this summer. That's what's been suggested by them putting up 100,000 troops, that Russia is preparing for a major push. And apparently they're also setting up 2 additional divisions of the army with about 100,000 each. So what's coming? Of course, this is an opinion piece in the Kyiv Post, but I don't know, guys, according to Russian elite, they think that's going to happen. Oil prices rise after Ukraine strikes Russian refineries. And on top of that, Moscow just says, hey, we're going to cut outputs to meet OPEC pledge. Does that mean gas prices are going up? You tell me. Smells like it, don't it? So gas, fuel goes into everything produced in America. When fuel prices go up, prices for everything go up. When you get supply chains disruptions like we're seeing, prices go up. Store shelves may get more bare. and may do so for other reasons. I've got a video I've recorded for Green Greg's I'll talk about in a minute. You'll see it tomorrow. Explosions rock Russia's Rostov Oblast. Russians claim to have shot down missiles. Now, you may remember Rostov-on-Don is the main hub city there in Rostov Oblast. That's the one that was taken over first by Prigozhin, head of the Wagner Group. They had a lot of Russian military, but that's where Russia stages almost everything for their attacks, one of the main staging points for their attacks on Ukraine. So this is quite a slugfest still going on there. It is an ugly slugfest. Now, here's something that I worry about. This is, CBS News, which is on the left side of the political spectrum, says national security leaders worry about U.S. failure to ratify Law of the Sea Treaty. Like this could be a problem, this guy's telling us. We got to ratify the Law of the Sea Treaty. Hundreds of former national security and military political leaders are calling for the Senate to ratify the United Nations Law of the Sea Treaty. No, do not do that. I have adamantly opposed this for years. The Law of the Sea Treaty, lost. Law of the Sea Treaty, lost. Editorial by Greg Allison. You ever heard of this guy? Written back in the fall of 2009. I have been fighting the Law of the Sea Treaty personally for some time. I even met with Senator Vitter over this, who was a senator from Louisiana, directly in face, and congratulated him for the work he did against it. I have heard Senator Vitter quote me in congressional testimony. All right. Forgive me for being late. Hey, Rodney Middleton. Thank you. Salute to Rodney Middleton from way down under. Thank you for the big super chat. I most appreciate that, sir. Wow. Why should space advocates and entrepreneurs care about the UN establishing rules for the world's oceans? Because that convention, the Law of the Sea, places roadblocks in the way of future resource development on open seas, setting a precedent that will likely impede development of space as well. It's a communist treaty. I can read this, I can quote this, and not have to worry about a copyright strike because I wrote it. The U.S. already complies with most of the provisions of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The official name is UNCLOS, UNCLOS, also known to its detractors, including NSS Policy Committee, me, as the Law of the Sea Treaty, lost. However, President Reagan rejected loss in 1982 because of the nature of the rules for developing the resources of the unclaimed ocean and seabeds beneath it. Instead of treating those areas either as a no man's land or as open seas, the UN declares them in a lofty sounding phrase to be the common heritage of mankind. In practice, this phrase means that the unclaimed parts of the ocean are community property owned by everybody, but subject to a new UN bureaucracy called the International Seabed Authority. Under laws, the ISA and the authority has the authority to decide who explores for and mines the resources of the deep seabed. Any individual company wishing to develop the sea must pay the UN a $250,000 application fee, explore a minimum of 2 sites, but give 1 site to the UN for every 2 sites explored. Every time you got to explore 2 sites and then give 1 to the UN. So you got to pay to do this, of course. In addition to this, pay a portion of the earnings from the seabed to the ISA, that's that authority, for its own expenses, and to compensate other nations that are hurt by the price shocks from developing these new resources. In other words, you got to give more than half, maybe 3/4 of everything to the United Nations and these other countries. ISA's governing, how can you do that? I mean, gosh, guys, developing resources, especially in a challenging environment like the sea, is exceedingly expensive to start with. It's hard to get at. And then you got to lay all this on top of it and give away so much. Profit margins really are sometimes very thin for these kind of ventures, and the lead times for return on investment are so long, investors don't want to have anything to do with a venture like that. And what I worry about space is it's even harder in space. And what I worried about was the extension of this to space once you've agreed to it here. It sets a precedent, a very bad precedent. It's not good for developing the sea, and it's even worse for developing space. And I say here, private enterprise is crucial for developing a permanent civilization on dangerous frontiers. Government might pave the way, but if people are to stay and make these underdeveloped areas a worthwhile long-term concern, they must have commerce, including the right to develop and profit from local resources. If the private sector does not develop these deep seabed or other resources of the solar system, it's unlikely that governments which cannot afford to finance such activities out of their own treasures will do so. The U.S. already follows and benefits from the bulk of loss, but the ratification will set an ugly precedent. If we do compromise our goals and accept that the future of the space economy will truly be lost. Greg Allison, National Space Society's Policy Committee Chairman. I skipped a paragraph or two in there. Written by yours truly. All right, we'll change subjects here. California food chain laying off workers instead of the new ahead of this new minimum wage law. $20 minimum wage. Well, they're just laying them off. I mean, already you can't afford to go to McDonald's. Holy smoke, guys! McDonald's is already overpriced. Now you take Arizona, which has like almost a $15 an hour minimum wage. If you go to before I left Arizona, before their new minimum wage kicked in, I paid $14 and some change for a Whopper and an unsweet tea. The same sandwich and drink in Texas cost me $10. You tell me that it don't affect prices? Yeah, it do. Major Taylor Greene's push for declaration of war over border. You now remember what I was telling you guys a couple of videos back on, no, actually my last live session here on Swivel News, talking about the president of Mexico claiming to support the cartels and saying as part of the Mexico First policy. And I have said, you know, considering that they're pushing fentanyl and everything across the border, that was basically like a declaration of war on the United States. Well, I beat Marjorie Taylor Greene, excuse me, to the punch on that. But she has come in behind and pretty much said what I said. Mexico's president treatment of Biden shows how weak America looks. How about that? This is coming from the Washington Examiner. Said that Mexican President Andre Manuel Lopez Obrador, however you say his name, elaborated on outrageous demands that he made to Biden that would hurt American interests. The demands include the United States paying Latin America $20 billion a year, lifting the sanctions placed on Venezuela and ending an embargo on Cuba and legalizing the millions of Mexicans who have illegally forced their way in the United States. Biden administration refuses to comply, then the flow of migrants will continue. Now, if I got elected president, I would have a word with that man. Whoa, I hope that Trump will. I'm not running for president. I got better sense than that. Here's another article talking about this. Unbiased straight facts from Straight Era News. Mexican president, you know, asking for $20 billion a year, legalize migrants and so forth. Talking on 60 Minutes. Oh, 60 Minutes probably just loved him to death. How about that, guys? So, Mexican cartels use border to arm themselves with military-grade weapons. See, guys, and they use these in Mexico. It would be good for Mexico if we shut down the border. It would be good for Latin America. Now, here's something of interest. Now, of all days for them to pick for this, why the main holiday of people of this faith? Easter? Fairfax County Board? Wow, I don't know, guys. Why do they have to do that? It's like a stick in the eye. Of all days, 365 days in a year, and they have to pick that day. Interesting. Electrifying the trucking in the United States could cost as much as $1 trillion burden to consumers. How's that going to be passed? Higher prices, guys. But don't worry, President Taterhead's in charge. There's nothing to worry about. And if you can't remember how you crossed the Francis Scott Key Bridge, he's got us all covered. And Bowen, turns out you use dish soap as a lubricant in the door sills. Dish soap. Wow. Of course, what happened to the whistleblower? He just suddenly decided right before he was to take a major trip and great plans he had that he just didn't want to be around anymore, according to some sources, but not according to his best friend, who said that he said if something happened to him that he would not commit that kind of act upon himself. If you know what I'm talking about. Anywho, Rodney, yeah, they seem to be on something. Anyway, yikes. All right, now this may be, they don't like channels like me. This is something really concerning. This is from Soros's lovely rag called Media Matters. Viral, right wing. Homestead influencers are demonizing migrants and pushing nativist conspiracy theories. There's nothing wrong with the migrants. Let them all in. They don't need to be vetted. No. What's wrong with you guys? Says repaired homestead. I watch this guy some. Patriot nurse. Watch her. Riverside Homestead, I watched him. Appalachian's Homestead with a chair, I watch her. Oh my gosh, guys. I've seen Doug and Stacy posted pictures with this and some other articles of this ilk. Jeez, no wonder I get beat up so much here. Chick-fil-A set a switch from antibiotic-free chicken. What are you getting in your food, guys? What is coming in your food? And maybe they're having to do it because their source suppliers like Tyson and Pilgrim's Farm and others are backing away too. Yikes, guys. There you go, Jason. There'd be no one crossing the border if I was in charge. Hey, I wish you were. Yikes. But that's what they think about us. Jeez. We're just a basket of deplorables here in flyover land. What's wrong with us? Because we love independence. We want to be able to stand on our own 2 feet and feed ourselves. Guys, I just recorded a video prior to doing this one, mainly because I had a bunch of open tabs for it, and I couldn't open more tabs to this video tonight until I got rid of those by recording the video. You're going to see a video on Green Greg's tomorrow about an attack on our food system, about an attack on farmers, especially small farmers. That's coming on Green Greg's tomorrow. Watch it. I'll be posting it tomorrow if the rivers don't rise. Anyway, my. It's all the more reason to check out your long-term food storage. Grow your own, store if you can. But if you ain't got it, store what you can. Get the rice and beans in the big box stores. But guys, for the stuff that you can bug out with and bury, go to check out prepwithgreg.com. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, it comes up and you get this special here, 3-month supply, $200 off. They've been offering this price for some time. I don't know how they keep doing it with all the inflation. I don't expect this can last much longer, guys. I really got to wonder. Thank you, Michelle, for showing how to contribute directly to me. I will check my messages before we're done tonight, see if anybody's done that so I can give them a proper shout out. So just remind me on here if I get forgetful. Anyway. Yeah, you can bury these buckets, guys, because they're sealed and the pouches in them are sealed. That's what and they're lightweight. You can carry them around easy. You can bug out with them. Or you can throw these in your backpack. It's easier to carry than cans. So check it out, guys. And it's easier to bury than glass jars. So for those that say, Greg, I don't know what am I supposed to do in my preps if my house burns down? Well, don't have them all in your house. Because if they're all in your house, if somebody knocks your door down, they're heading for your pantry. So these are easy to hide, easy to bug out with. Make you a cache or as it's said in the conventional term, a cache. But put a cache in Knoxville. You know how I like to joke about things like that. Anyhow, you guys see those pouches there? 25 varieties, 2,000 calories a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They'll make you a winner. I mean, where you get 3 months supply of food for that? That's what I spend in a month. Jeez, almost. All right, guys. West Coast earthquakes. Holy guac and smoking mud. Look at this. I mentioned, I think last time I was on here, that there was concerns about earthquakes here off the West Coast that might signal potential upcoming volcanic activity. And look here, where's that at? Morton, Washington. How close is that to Mount Rainier? I don't know. There's always this obligatory earthquake here in Toya, Texas. Somewhere I was always in West Texas or eastern, southeastern New Mexico. Toya is a frequent earthquake site. Is that from fracking? I don't know. But guys, look at these earthquakes. You got one here that's what's the outer one here? 5.7. 178 kilometers west southwest of Port Orford, Oregon. And then there's aftershock here, 4.1. There's another nearby, 3.0. Is something about to happen here? That's pretty big. Of course, if this fault line, this subduction zone slips, you'll have a tsunami up and down the west coast from Vancouver, probably down into Portland, Oregon. Major tsunami might come, or they're really what they're talking about is potential earthquake activity, volcanic activity kicking up due to all this. I don't know, guys, but that is concerning right there. Very concerning. Just a heads up, don't be, really watch it. If you're on the west side of I-10, you may be in harm's way of a tsunami if that subduction zone turns loose. Well, let's see here. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, a little dancing in Puerto Rico, not as much as we normally see, but look here. Off El Salvador. 2 earthquakes there off El Salvador. A pretty good size one here in Chile, 5.2. Alaska having earthquakes is pretty normal. Valdez, 3.1. That's where the pipeline port's at. 3.2 in Petersville, Alaska. 2.6 in Tanana River, Kamchatka Peninsula. Let's see, at Losovo, however you say it, Russia. Here in the islands, Kuril Islands. I believe that's part of the Japanese islands that's being possessed by Russia. Japan has got a couple. Look here off Indonesia. Wow, look at this one. 6.4. How you say that, Rodney? I can't even say that. Vanuatu. I can't say that. Look here. 5.4 at Tonga. Right here in Papua New Guinea, 5.2. 4.9. There's 2 of them right here. 4.9. Yeah, 4.6. Papua New Guinea's popping. Got some little ones here in Indonesia. 4.5, 4.6. One off the shore here, Sumatra. Yikes, guys. One up here looks like Afghanistan. Yep, 4.6. Iran. 4.5. Mid-Atlantic Ridge. 5.2. The earth is shaking and a quaking. All right, I hope these big sunspots turn out of the way before they do anything crazy again, 3615 especially. Yet in 3614 did a dual flare of the day. There's not 2 sunspots here out of 3614 right now, which is probably good news for us. But this one could grow, 3619. Chance of solar flares today. How's that for space? With a chance of solar flares, sharp reduction in cosmic rays. Oh, that means that if you look at the cosmic ray chart, what's cosmic rays? The sun pushes the cosmic rays out when it's active. The cosmic rays is what causes, if you get higher cosmic rays like you do in solar minimums, you get more cloud cover. The world cools down. So we should be really hot right now, given a reduction of cosmic rays. We should be really hot, considering how they've dropped off, how low they are. There's no asteroids that we know of coming between the Earth and the Moon anytime soon. I say that we know of because one can always pop up at the last minute. So I wouldn't be worried about asteroids at the moment. Not for tomorrow morning. This goes out to the 21st of May. But it's so hot right now. Looky here in the United States. We got snow down in Arizona, New Mexico, all across the Rockies. Look, it's all 20s up in here, 20s and 30s. 12 in Bismarck. Fargo is 17. St. Paul's 21. See how hot it is? It's springtime. You know, they don't mention it when it gets cooler. They don't talk about it. But as soon as you get a hot day, the press is banging hard on it. Real hard. What do y'all think? Well, let's see. New Days is not with us. That's interesting. New Days. I don't see her. She may watch later. Holton is 34, Maine. All right, I got the 30s up in here. Upper New York, 43, but down here, Utica's 37, Albany's 41. Rochester's 50. Wow, it's warm up there. Buffalo's 48. That's because there's this southerly wind coming up out of off the coast and up New Jersey. Kind of heated that area. West by golly, Virginia's in the 50s. 39 in Bel Air, Maryland. Salisbury is 42. I've been in Salisbury, but I did not have a Salisbury steak in Salisbury. Now, there's a bridge down here. That one's pretty scary to cross. That's the one I want to cross. The one we're talking about is up here. Rain down in South Georgia, Macon Bacon is 61. Raleigh, 52. Fayetteville's 53. Is old Fort Bragg in the house? That's just south of Fort Bragg. This is Fort Bragg right in here. Gabby, appreciate you. Thank you. Salute, Gabby. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, guys. That's what keeps me going here. Birmingham is 52. Huntsville is 50. It's kind of warm today here. Ardmore 48. I'm probably closer to the Ardmore temperature where I'm at. I tend to be about the same temperature as Ardmore. Huntsville's a heat island of sorts. Montgomery is 53. Andalusia, double nickel down in South Alabama. Atmore, they got the prison, 55. Women's prison down there. Mobile, 57. Gulfport, 59. NOLA, 61. Lafayette, I spent a night there not long back getting my final fix on my transmission, 55. Planet Houston, 52. Tomball, 52. Huntsville, Texas is 48. Waco, 50. Dallas, Fort Worth area, 44. All right, it's in the 60s down here where Elon launches his rockets. He's about to launch another Starship. All right. El Paso area is about 46. Now, where's the snow here in Arizona? Shit. Looks like it's close to Vernon. Hey, Jesse, are you getting snow? You getting snow right now, Jesse? None of the snowflakes. Snowflakes 34. Sholo's 26, though. Yeah. Flagstaff, 25. That's where Rainbow Fruit Rock says, remember Gail? Tucson, 46. Cowgirl in Arizona, she's in that area. Jesse, you getting snow right now? Lost Angels is 52. Lost Wages is 57. Whoops, I just skipped way out. Bing, bing, bing. Come back. No, come back here. We'll go up the coast. San Fran, 52. Well, here's 28 up here in Northeast California. 28. 25 right there. East Quincy. Wow. Up the coast here, West Wokistan, we got 50 here, 48 there. Inland is in the 30s. 28 at Long Creek. Guys, if you ever cross the Columbia River here, it's real stark because you got these huge cliffs of basalt rock. That's leftovers from back in the day when what's Yellowstone now was in this area. The continental plate is pushed across that hot spot. It's got explosions and places where it's detonated all along the trail to its current location. Seattle is 44. All right. Arnold, you getting any snow? Eastern Alberta's getting snow. You're in Western Alberta. We got some people here from British Columbia. Kelowna, however you say that's 32. We got some people watching that area. Up here to Alaska, Anchorage is 32. Valdez is 32. Seward's 32. Homer, oh, 32 right here. Interesting. Valdez had an earthquake. Fairbanks 25. Delta Junction's 32. Delta Junction's a lot warmer than Fairbanks. I've been seeing that lately. Delta Junction used to always be like 10 degrees colder than Fairbanks. They got an inversion going on lately. Get up here to Dead Horse at 7. Barrows -2. How about that for springtime? -2. When it's springtime in Alaska, he'll be 6 feet below. You ever heard that song, Springtime in Alaska? Yeah, we still missed a bunch of the United States. Ryan Perindy Land got snow in the north of Minnesota. Fargo 17, I think we mentioned that earlier. Leeds 12. Minot, our Air Force Base there is 8 degrees. Bismarck's 8 degrees. Missoula, Montana, 30. That's back when I drove through there, that was a pretty city and all in the mountains up in here. The Bitterroot Mountains are real beautiful along the border of Idaho and Montana. That's a pretty, you get to this part of Montana, it's just flat as a pancake. But out here, the mountains are beautiful. You don't even see the mountains when you're over here, but when you get over here, they're beautiful. I'd say that of areas in the lower 48, that's one of the most beautiful areas in the lower 48 for mountains. Salt Lake City, 26. Richfield, 17. Too bad Granny Lana's not with us anymore. God rest her soul. Now, we're going to miss her. I hope she's in a better place now. She had a lot of pain, guys. Vail is 8. Denver is 17. Colorado Springs is 19. Pueblo 30. Grand Junction 28. But Vail is usually the colder town. Is Jan from Colorado with us? 40 below. When it's springtime in Alaska. Yeah, 40 below. I've seen 40 below. I've seen 60 below. I think I got 79 below ambient temperature at Fort Greeley one night when I was there. And on the, I think the Bolio test range, they said it got to 80 below. Topeka, Kansas, 25. Topeka. Wait, that's a funny name. Dodge City, 25. I got to go to Dodge City one day. We got Dodge City in Alabama. It's off Interstate 65. I drive through it all the time. I hadn't seen Matt Dillon, though. All right, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We got a lot of friends in the channel in Tulsa, 35. Oklahoma City, 35. Arkansas. Michelle's from this area. You're probably somewhere between 34 and 35. Heber Springs, we got some people from, we got quite a few people from Oklahoma and Kansas at watch. Nashville is 41. Knoxville is 50. We're 46 in Huntsville and 48 in Birmingham. All right, we're going to spin on what's Birmingham, England. You got anybody in the house from England? We may be early for our England buddies. We got anybody from down under besides Rodney in here tonight? We'll go down under in a minute. Let's cross the pond here. Whoa, I should have scrolled out. There we go. 43 in Dublin, Ireland. Limerick. I love limericks. You hear me crack a limerick every now and then. 46 Cork. Do you pop the cork in Cork? 46. And England. Nottingham. Where's the sheriff at? 50 degrees. Sheffield, 44. Cambridge, 53. Birmingham, England is 48. And then I said it's 43 in Birmingham, Alabama. London's a balmy 52, but look at this wind coming up there, this south wind. Canterbury. You ever read the Canterbury Tales? 53. Canterbury Tales. Paris, 52. Brussels, 53. Rotterdam, 52. Hamburg, Germany, 46. We get people from Norway in here sometimes. Got 40s out there on the coast, 43, 44. 46 all the way up here, 40s, 40s, 50 up here. And the wind's coming from the north, 44, 37. Wow. Pretty warm up here near the Arctic in Norway. I got 28 up there, though. That's way up Lapland, I guess. Wow. Murmansk, where the Ruskies have so much naval and air force, is 28. Wow, 40s in Finland. Moscow, 37. Minsk, 55. Kyiv is 57. Ew. Ankara, capital of Turkey, 64. Beirut is 70. Acre, 71. Riyadh is a balmy 80. Woo-wee. Hot. Let's get 75. Yeah, 80 is in India. 90 is down in here. Let's go down under. What's WWIII? 82? What is WWIII? What's the temperature of WWIII? I guarantee you I'm not off more than a couple of... What? 77? WWIII is 77? Wow. That's cool for WWIII. Well, like we had some rain and storms in the area. Wow. That's the coolest I've seen WWIII in a while. What about that, Rodney? Long Reach. What's Long Reach like, Rodney? 75. I guess that's out in the desert. I don't know. It's Long Reach, you got forest here along the coast. I don't know how far inland your forests go, but you're getting rain all through here. Just got to be good. Brisbane is 66. Sydney, 66. Canberra, capital city, 61. Melbourne, 53. Let's come over here and look at Perth is 66. Tasmania's in the 50s. Okay, guys, it's autumn down there. It's autumn down under now. Manaka, I guess that's the way you say it. I don't know. 37. Christchurch, 43. Wollaton, 50. New Plymouth, 55. Auckland, 61. It's cooler here in the spring in Birmingham than it is down there. All right, guys. Let's go back out and doing it. Greg, snow just quit. Have about 4 to 5 inches today. Supposed to be moving out. Oh, we saw that snow. Caused a cyclone, Greg. Okay. Never been there. Apparently it gets real hot out there. Okay, I bet it does. I bet it does. You ever been to WWIII? What's up in WWIII, Rodney? I bet it's really tropical up there. Look at all that snow in Idaho. Snow in Idaho. Snow in the Bitterroots. Eastern Montana. Excuse me, Western Montana. Western Idaho. Salt Lake City. Northern Nevada. Mountains in California, more snow. All these Sierra Nevada range snow. Man, when that stuff, I wonder how much snowpack they got up there. It's got to be pretty thick. It's been snowing a lot. Be interesting when that stuff melts out. Oh, wait a minute, I've advanced. I'm off the date. Pardon me. I don't know when that advanced. Sometimes I'm clicking around that date advances. Those temperatures might be off too because of that. Sorry, guys. I'm going to run the clock forward and see what we got going here in the United States as the clock runs forward. Most of my watchers are here in the United States. Look here, more rain coming in the West Coast. Chewy weather. You getting some weather up there if you're in the house? Cheaper to live in Western Alberta. I bet it is. You're going to have some storms off the east coast of North Carolina. Probably Fort Bragg. Oh, look at all that snow. Way down south, too. All the snow coming up Friday. Utah, Colorado, Western Colorado. And more rain down in San Jose and California. Lost Angels is going to get some. Snow. Wow, look at all that snow. Sunday. Snow, snow. Last day of March right here. Snow all over. More snow and rain coming in Arizona. Jesse, looks like you're going to get more snow on Sunday. Easter. Wow. Easter snow. Monday. More snow. All across the west. Wow, look at all that snow, guys. Look at all that snow in the April, first day of April. Colorado getting snow, rain in Texas, mid-Texas. Rain's heading my way, looks like on Tuesday, almost. May not get to me till Friday. Well, we just jump Wednesday. Yeah, we'll get some storms there. Snow out west. We ain't got the eclipse date yet. Probably got to wait a few more sessions so we can get a prediction on eclipse day. I'd like to know where the clouds are going to be. This don't show clouds, just precipitation. I might could set this for cloud cover. I only can find a weather thing. I can look at cloud cover before we get to eclipse day. Tasmania is where the drug companies get the raw materials to make painkillers. Wow, Jason. Tasmania. Become the Tasmanian devil. Stop share. Hello. I'll go through the chat room. See what everybody's been saying. See what I've been missing. Oh yeah, let's check. I'll check see if we got anything sent to me here. I got an interview in the morning. We gotta end early because I gotta get up early. I got a job interview with Blue Origins. Let's see here. Blue Origins. All right. Got a donation on PayPal. Sure enough. I bet it's Michelle. Let me log in. Ding, 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 ding. Michelle Young. Salute to you. Wow. Thank you, Michelle. Most appreciate that. All righty. Scroll all the way up the top of the chat log and just kind of work my way back down. Oh, the hard turn is due to drop in the anchor. That makes sense. They did supposedly drop the anchor. That makes sense. Lost power twice. Electrical went out twice. That's true. Was it due to a fire? Did they have shorts on board? Were they hacked? Or just a malfunction? I don't know, guys. Could be a malfunction. Yeah, good question there, Jesse. Should have been some other barriers out there that would hit first, right? Thank you for calling for the thumbs up, Jesse. Oh, he must be in the house. Somebody's hailing him. There he is. Good morning. Good early morning, Greg and people. Putting a foot down on a motorcycle going 100 miles per hour for anchor. Yeah, that's kind of rough, Daryl. That's rough business. It didn't. Palmer BOGO, free demolition to collect max insurance with a bonus shot for political narrative. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Maybe. Oh, Jesse Mill says, Greg, Dems blame others for what they do. Dems all over Trump won't leave. Bet B won't. Then bring in the good buddies, Chinese blue helmets. Gosh, I hope not. You know, Henry Kissinger once said we would welcome the blue helmets one day. What did he know about? What made him say that? Because he's also the one that talked about controlling people. Oh, I didn't mention that in my Green Ridge video on food. I should have. Because Henry Kissinger talked about control food, you control the people. And he also referred to a lot of people as useless eaters. So what's going to happen when people are just sitting at home getting that living wage and doing nothing else? Will they fit in that category? How much use is the government going to have for them in the long run once they get them shackled to their totally being completely dependent? Any event can be modeled by careful planning. Yep. Just got to be real careful. Been across that bridge many times. It was a bad place to be in a truck with high winds. Oh, I bet. Yeah, the one I went across was a windy day, and it was right to the middle of the bridge. It just like had a grate set across it. You know, it's like, whoa. You drove up on the grate and you went across, and I was like, oh, wow. It was very hot to the bridge. That was a little disconcerting. Under Race American History with Francis Scott Key. All that black smoke and exhaust, the power flickering on and off seems like a major problem. Plus they did do that. They did issue the Mayday. I don't think you'd issue a Mayday if you really were intentionally doing that. But it could have been the anchor that caused them to make that turn. Absolutely could have been. Bell reverse and hammering the throttle to slow the vessel makes sense to me. But no power, no hydraulic energy to steer the rudder. Yeah, that could have all been true. Have it been east of Ohio in 5 years with my truck? I won't deliver in that area. Yeah, I don't blame you. Full reverse causes all the black smoke. Yeah, it could do that. Brandon Scott turns 40 on April 8th. Baltimore, Maryland. Mayor. Interesting. Thanks for sharing the Gold Blacks link there, Michelle. Old school trucker. And Walmart and Amazon want to increase the size and weight capacity of semi-trailers from 80K to 100,000 pounds. The bridges won't hold that weight. That's scary. You're going to be on one of those top bridges when that's happening, Arnold. And Steve Popper has covered the mods shortage. What do you mean by mod shortages? He does cover shortages all the time. Let's see. Here comes the battle of ICBM. That's scary, S. Lee. Could happen. That would be the worst day. Imagine those road workers totally oblivious to what's about to happen, falling 100 feet in the water. Yeah, there's six people that they just wrote off. They didn't find them. In the 40-degree water after all this time. They're with the fishes. That's an interesting question, Jason. Stock activity. You're probably toast in the first 3 seconds on that water. Yeah, if you survive the fall, falling 100 feet and hitting water, geez, that's rough by itself. And then it's 40 degrees. You fall 100 feet, you hit water like hitting a rock from that height, and then it's 40 degrees. Wow, probably knock your breath out of you going down. Greg, my gas prices got up 80 cents in the last month. Summer hike hasn't even started. Well, I dread that because I'm going to be paying it when I get there. It's gone up here, but not 80 cents. Wow. Arizona is high on gas. Gas in Arizona is high. Man, it's high. Sunshine CST girl. What I do understand is why the ship was not blowing its whistle. Maybe it wouldn't blow. Part of the malfunction. Could have just malfunctioned. Yeah, I would be turning on a big searchlight. You know, a lot of the tugboats I was saying crossing the Tennessee River, they'll have a big searchlight on when they go into the bridges there. You know, I've been across the bridges on the Tennessee River with tugboats pushing barges, and yeah, they'd have a big, huge, bright searchlight on. Those lights are bright. I didn't see that in this case, but then maybe that's not custom there, or maybe just malfunction. I mean, guys, they were having some kind of malfunctions going on. If the ship was electric, it could have what? Fell faster. With electric blinking like that, the engine certainly would have had issues. But hey, requires electrical system to run it. Is it independent from the main power system? I don't know. When you ping someone on Discord, is at everyone. Is at everyone, get everybody. Sequest, is that the one where the cartoon that was on back in the 70s where they lived on a seamount? If it's the one I'm thinking about, that was a great one. I enjoyed that one when I was a kid. Hi, David Potter. Alan Meyer Jensen. Where are you from, Mr. Jensen? Thank you, Honorable Sir. Get rid of fast food. It's ridiculous in price. It's bad for you. Yeah, it's bad for you, and it's expensive now. $15 for Big Macs. Crazy. Crazy. Thanks for sharing the Defy the Grid. And you shared that link, though. Mention it ain't no good if people just go to Defy the Grid. To help me, they got to use the code GreenGregs. You get 1% off if you use the code GreenGregs, and I'll get 1% if you do that. If you don't use the code GreenGregs, I don't get zip, and you don't get 1% off either. So always, if you list the Defy the Grid, put in the code GreenGregs for 1% off. Whopper meal is $4.99. Really? A whole meal? Wow. Wow. Is that a Whopper Junior? Yeah. UK king on the seabed went out for windmills, make millions. Mexican president got brave after we thinned the herd. Oh, Lord. Michelle says, true, I have family in Mexico, and the people there have been upset with all the illegal migrants rushing through their country. Yeah, and the drug cartels wreak havoc upon the people in Mexico. I mean, they suffer at the hands of the drug cartels mightily. I got a friend that lives in Monterey, and she'd be telling me about gunfire in the neighborhood, stuff going off. And Monterey is one of the better towns in Mexico, one of the better cities. She invited me to come down there. It's like, yeah, I'd probably get kidnapped if I went to Mexico. They'd want to kidnap me to ransom me, and then to find out they couldn't get a nickel from me, I'd be in trouble. Oh, this guy's aerospace. Yeah, let's grab him. Anybody gonna give a nickel for me? I'd be in all kind of trouble. Thanks, Michelle and Rodney for sharing links. Michelle's really active sharing links tonight. Appreciate that. There you go. Now see Rodney, he got it right. He should use a code. Now you got the code is Green Greg's to get 1% off. Green Greg's. Yeah, the code is Green Greg's. Third Amendment, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner prescribed by law. But we can have immigrants take your house. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Squatters. Those today are likely from an underwater volcano. That ain't good. You got an underwater volcano there. Hey, you might get a new island offshore. Hollywood fall in the ocean. Hollywood's kind of back up in the hills, so Hollywood falls in the ocean. LA is already gone. Hollyweird. He says the earthquake is coming on the St. Lawrence, Quebec side this week. All right, we'll watch out for that. Let's see if he can predict that. He says earthquake in the St. Lawrence, Quebec side this week. Let's see if that happens. Since I've seen him talking about lasers, I don't put a lot of stock in him anymore. More power than normal from your solar panels. Interesting. Maybe that's because the sun's active. Roasting no fill the groundhog. Oh. Shaped like a toilet bowl. Major landslide in Hawaii would flush the bowl. Yeah. If you noticed, I did a video with Rex Bear. We were sitting on top of Mount Hollywood, just right next to the Griffith Observatory. We'd passed through the Mount Hollywood tunnel, where we both videoed a voice from light anomaly, where I shouted halo and light went down the tunnel. You'll find that on my Galactic Greg's channel, light from voice anomaly. And there you'll also find the link to Rex's video on it. If you go to Rex's channel, and you can search all day and never find it, but you'll find it easier. His camera's a little better than mine, and of course he puts all kinds of special effects, so his video is a little better. Check that out. That's weird. It's weird. But we were there talking about Los Angeles, talking about how it's a bowl and how it's surrounded by mountains on one side and the ocean on the other. It's a trap. It's like if they have a major earthquake, all these freeways are going to collapse and you can't get out. And the whole place is just, you can get a few planes in it, maybe a few boats to sea, but getting supplies in to feed almost 20 million people you won't be able to get enough supplies in. Hollywood, the entire Los Angeles basin is going to be in a world of hurt just in a major earthquake. They get a tsunami, forget about it. Your niece is leaving Sierra Space and going to DOD. You think it's a bad move? Well, it'd be more stable working for DOD. But she might make more money for Sierra Space. Sierra Space is trying to build a space station. And they've got the Dream Chaser spacecraft, which was started by Benson. What was Benson's first name? Knew Benson. Called him Blowhard Benson. He was a real ego guy. What was his first name? Last name was Benson, because he started a company that Sierra Space bought out. He started the Dream Chaser project. I can't remember the name of his company now. It'll come to me later. There's another company's name's popping in my head. When one name pops in your head, when you're trying to think of the other, it kind of messes me up. Anyway, I went to Benson one day at a Space Frontier Foundation conference. I said, you ought to consider hybrid rockets, because I was involved in developing hybrid rockets. He just kind of looked at me funny. He walked across, he strode all the way across the hallway, straight to me the following year, put his finger in my face and says, you got to quit doing hybrid rockets, because I bought the patent from, what was the name of that company? Not in Space America. It was, oh, shoot. There was another company used to do hybrid rockets beforehand. I looked at him and laughed. I said, no, you got a wholly different hybrid rocket technology. That's LOX hybrids. I said, it ain't the same kind of engine where you don't have any hold on me. You can't stop me from doing hybrids. And of course, later when he wound up competing for the, we were doing nitrous hybrids. It had totally different ignition systems, totally different way of igniting them. And he later, when he competed for I actually competed against him for the contract to pour the motors for Scale Composites to do Spaceship One. Burt Rutan called me up and says, Greg, I like your proposal. Technically, you got the best proposal. I said, well, thank you, Burt. And he said, I just got one problem with that. I said, what's that, Burt? He says, you don't have anybody full-time on it. I said, well, I budgeted for that. Yeah, I'm going to put Tim Pickens on full-time. And he said, oh, now see, the whole reason we started this was to bring Tim Pickens out of Scale in California. And supposedly Burt had already agreed to that. And then Burt played a trick. He says, oh, no, you can't have Tim. I got to have him. You can't have Tim anyway. And I thought, well, if I push this, I'm going to get Tim fired. So I said, well, okay, then we've done this kind of stuff working before. A lot of projects where we can handle it, because we did rattle off all these other projects we'd done ahead of time, just running it on a part-time basis. And he says, no, what I want I either want you or Steve Mistakis to quit your day job and then do this. And I'm thinking, this is a 6-week contract. It's a short-term contract. I just started another day job after being laid off for 3 months. And Steve Mistakis just became a manager for Thiokol at that time. And I knew better than call Steve up and ask him, because Steve was just going to laugh at me if I'd ask him. Now, Steve and I and Tim had all worked on this contract proposal. And so I just told Burt, I said, Burt, on that note, I guess we're just going to have to part company. I hated it because we worked our tails off on that contract proposal. Well, the company EAC and Benson's company got the contract eventually, and they competed against each other. And Benson didn't know how to light a nitrous hybrid. The nitrous hybrid, you got to heat the fuel grain up first and then hit it with oxidizer. He's trying another way. He was blowing his motors out and couldn't figure out why. Well, we already knew why, but he got the contract, dummy. Blowhard Benson, that's what I called him. Anyway, he was an ego guy, but he died many years ago. He sold his company to Sierra Space. Bet Fort Baylor's really busy right now. I bet they are. Hey, we got another super chat. Let's go down and see who did that. Rodney Middleton, buy breakfast on me. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right. Guys, I've been a space guy for years. I got this award for space entrepreneurship for launching a hybrid rocket from a high-altitude balloon. Well, now, what's that? Virgin Galactic took the buys of spaceships from what was Scale Composites that got bought out by Northrop Grumman. I worked for Northrop Grumman before myself, too. And they're doing those. That's what that's what their spaceship is all about. And this also was the origin of what went into the Dream Chaser at first. I think the Dream Chaser changed engines eventually. So, we got a lot of guys trained that went out in the industry that started out with things I started years ago. I tried to talk my wife. At the time I was married my wife was African. She had an MBA. Master's in Business Administration, and she wound up working in a nursing home. I couldn't understand why she didn't go work her the field. She just got a master's in Business Administration. I said, look, we can start a space company. I told her she'd have to get her citizenship, but she did later. And she thought I was nuts. She thought I was crazy, right? Because her sister was ringing, why's Greg doing all this space stuff? Why's Greg doing all this space stuff? He's like nutty. Why is he doing space stuff? Well, Tim Pickens then split off. Got his wife to start a woman-owned company, got a bunch of contracts, and he became a millionaire doing stuff I used to do. Me, broke. I used to tell my wife at the time, I said, you can be a millionaire. After that, she came to me, Craig, why don't we start this one? I said, that train done left the shed. Too late now. I'm not going to compete with my best friend. And that market, there was a market there. It was a good market, but it was a very narrow niche. It wasn't room for two players, and I knew that. So I just thought after this, well, you could have been a millionaire. Oh, well, that's water on the bridge. I helped a lot of people get a start, do big things. They all had their own talents too. So I appreciate them all. Yeah, Rodney, 2 super chats in one night. Double salute to Rodney. Wow. Let me go back up here. See what else I missed. Yeah, in fact, this laptop, for those that are just watching me for the first time, you see this laptop, you know what I'm using for a laptop table? Oh, slow my cell phone down. Cords everywhere here. Yikes. On the floor. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Making a mess here. This is my laptop table. This is a fuel grain of the Hart Catch Prize rocket motor, one of our test fired motors. We test fired this one, I think, for about 3 seconds, a 3-second burn, characterizing the fuel grain. This is the daddy of the Spaceship One engine. Spaceship One hangs in the National Air and Space Museum today. This engine is the daddy, direct daddy to that engine. Got mementos, I got memories. About all I can say for it. I walked into an airport, to a conference in an airport with that on my shoulder. Like I owned the place. Just walked right in with it on my shoulder, like nothing to it. Nobody questioned me. If I walked in like that, yeah, they'd have probably thrown me in the hoos cow. I walked in like I owned the place. Oh, that rocket motor. Would you walk into an airport carrying a rocket motor on your shoulder? I did. That was after 9/11, but yeah, I think so. A regional conference of the National Space Society. Turn if possible. Well, she might, who knows? She might be a little baby in the making somewhere now. Or maybe she's flying around with some angel wings. She definitely was an angel. She took care of so many young people. She had this big heart. She took in not just orphans, but ones who had physical disabilities, big time, and took care of those poor young children. She had a huge heart. She had a huge, huge heart. She was a good woman. Yeah, it's a shame we lost her, but yeah, she's probably in a far better place today. All right, let me scroll back around here. How come we're not hearing anything about the proxy wars in Africa? They're going on, but yeah, there's not a lot of news on it because there's so much bigger wars going on everywhere else, probably. Yeah, the war news, there's fighting going on like crazy, but it's not making the news like it did. Diamond reports a massive solar panel field in Texas got hit with hail. 70% loss of panels. Toxic release yet to come. Now, see, I saw a forecast for hail, and I was thinking about that. Wow, I didn't know if the hailstorm actually hit. I looked after that forecast to see if there was a report on it. I didn't see that, but he found that. Interesting. I was kind of expecting that might happen. Wow. And they're worried about the eclipse. I like the hailstorm. Well, that's all mods at once. Beautiful moon, clear and cool here tonight. Hey, Dixie Doodles. Yeah, I saw another forecast that we might have aurora down here, but I looked at the aurora going on space weather, and it was puny. So when I wasn't about to run outside with seeing that. U.S. forces drill with ghost drones, robot dog. I saw an article with that name on it. Sync battle signals. Yeah, I saw that. I haven't posted that one, but I did see it. I got to do a special on robotic war. Oh, you gone, Last Soul? Thanks for joining. Lost wages. Yeah, that's what it is. Lost wages. Oh, we don't ask, just colonize. There you go, Jason. Ask Marvin Martian. Yeah. Wouldn't suggest living on that side of Montana. What, the flat side? Oh, that's where all the nuclear bases are and everything. Yeah, go to the mountainside, because hopefully the wind will sweep all that away from you. I'd much rather be in Missoula than Minot. No man's land, panhandle area. Which panhandle are you talking about? Texas or Oklahoma? Panhandle of Florida? Several states got panhandles. Amarillo is in the panhandle of Texas. I mentioned the cattle they lost there in this video I just did on for Green Gregs, which I'll post tomorrow. Expensive to go to or live in Texas? It's gonna get, as all the people's heading there, it's gonna get more expensive. Townsville's furthest north you've been. Okay, never been to WWIII then. 17 degrees here at the moment. Wow, Gabby. Is that Fahrenheit or Celsius? The Sioux are shivering in their boots. Return of Crazy Horse. Wow. About a little bighorn, yeah. Now, northern Australia is near the equator. It's warm up there. All the answers are on the dolly. The ship. There's some Chinese women over there. You go. Medical supplies. Hey, Shield Maiden, how you doing? Salvador Dali, the artist with a painting called Broken Bridge. Wow. You know, it's not the first impact that ship did. Interesting. Cannonball on the way down. Your cannonball. Should fall off the bridge. Well, that would be putting a good spirit on a bad situation. Live your life. In the movie, Leave the World Behind, the ship was called the White Line. This ship called Dolly, a painting by Dolly, is called the White Line. Wow. Interesting. Well, somebody mentioned that in one of my comments, I think over on the one I put up on Green Gregs, that it was like Leave the World Behind, the ship being out of control. If you remember in that movie, the Teslas were just automatically programmed and going and crashing into each other. Yeah, if somebody's hacking stuff, anything that can be controlled like that, who knows? Yeah. Baltimore bridge collapse will affect our economy and jobs. Yeah, especially in Baltimore. If you work for the ports, you're going to be in some very thin times. And Baltimore it's a depressed city, very depressed. There's a burger baron in town, 2 patties loaded up, $7.59 Canadian. Well, that's a good deal, Arnold. That's a good deal. Pardon why I left there, Greg, because of the Nuke bases. That's a good read. I wouldn't want to live near these Nuke bases or any of the SAC centers. I wouldn't want to live near any of that. Oh, it just jumped on me. Bigger Lahaina area. Oh, that don't sound good. Shell. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Shell. Paputus? Is that even close? Pardon me if I murdered the name. Don't mean to. You want $5 a small fry with that? Uh-oh, David, I'm gonna have to tell a joke now. You want fries with that, huh? World started going downhill when the fries shrunk. Okay, S. Lee. Well, I got a joke for you guys. For $16, you can get a Chinese dish with egg roll, fried rice, chopped suey, barbecue ribs. Now that's pretty good, Arnold. Yeah, you can get barbecue ribs for that price. That's a good deal, especially Canadian money. Greg should send it with a seat belt to Hillary. Oh, the rocket motor. That's funny. Greg, what's your prediction of next SpaceX Starship launch? Well, if it goes according to plan, they might actually get the Starship upper stage to land in the water, maybe. Man, they got close this time. So there's always a possibility it could blow up on the launch pad and take out Boca Chica and the town just north of it there. It could be real ugly if it blew up just over the launch pad or just over it. Let's hope it don't, but it could. I hope that they have a successful mission. But man, that big rocket they ought to be launching that thing out and say, hey, New Days is in here. Hello, New Days. Folks think they're going to have the rapture on the 8th. I subscribe to the post-tribulation rapture. I personally think everything otherwise is quoted out of context, but that's just me. I'm not a religious guy. This is not a religious channel. That's just my take on it. Like to get soy and honey drumsticks at Aldi's. Are only $8.49. Be careful of that soy. You don't want to be a soy boy, Rodney. It's going to be fermented or something to not affect you on a hormonal level. The soy mimics estrogen. So watch this. Watch the soy products. Yeah, it just depends on how they fish all that metal out New Days. I don't know how long it's going to take. If they get some barges on it and tug it out of the way, you think they'd just try to tug it out of the way at first, just to open the channel. I hope they do. What's the speckle, David? Boondock. That's what I do sometimes, down in the boondocks. Boondocking is when you camp out in your vehicle in places where you ought not be, probably. I'm just crawling out of bed, brewing a pot of coffee. My house guest arrived this morning. Good for you, New Days. We're not religious, but we're stuck on religious terms. Oh, that's true. It's a little late, but I didn't get a chance to mention that putting wood chips in your transmission is no con to make it run great for about 100 miles. That's about what I got. Shady Mechanic. Oh, they didn't do any. They gave me a transmission full of old parts. I tore apart all that junk in it was old. And it wasn't just that. They finger tighted the transmission in place and on a mount under the vehicle. The transducer connector wasn't even connected. Busted. They had bad cable in there where there's supposed to have been a bearing. They put a washer, just all kind of crazy stuff. Just nuts. Dried out, left over day old chicken. Man, I ate that all the time, David. Yeah, sawdust. That's what I had. Subway is way better. You get what? Subway is way better. You get 5-0 watch they put on your bone. What that is on. New Days. No man knows the day or the time. Yep, I agree with that. It's what Jesus said himself. Not even him. Only the number one in heaven. There is a short like in cat. I translated the oo sound from Greek to English incorrectly. It came back to the States should be, oh, okay. Palpotus. Well, long E sound. I'll have to hear that. Sorry about that, Rochelle. I'll just call you Rochelle. That's safer for me. Arnold Smith, my fave is the chicken and bacon foot long with Italian bread. Okay. The war is because of the end times. That something bath. I don't know what that is. To level dome of the rock. Oh, yeah, dome of the rock gets level. Or you talk about tempers going up in the area. Yeah, I don't see no peace there for in our lifetimes. Ooh, that'll really hit the hornet's nest when that happens. But that's what some of them are thinking. We're currently on Revelation 16:16 and Ezekiel 38. Check it out, Esley. All right, folks. So here's the joke. I know some of you have heard this, but your comments have prompted this, so you asked for it. What's one spider say to another whilst munching on a fly? Well, we got to go. I got to flip a little bit. What's one spider say to another whilst munching on a fly? Baked pork chops, baked potatoes, and green beans tonight. Oh, that sounds good. You had that today, Gabby? Wow. What does one spider say to another whilst munching on a fly? I know I've told this joke before. No idea. Okay. Time's fun when you're having flies. Okay. Next joke. I'm going somewhere with this. Next joke. When the spiders open a fast food restaurant, what would they name it? Spiders open a fast food restaurant. What are they going to name it? Yeah, we're about to call it a night here, Rochelle. I got Gabby laughing at least. No, good night, Rochelle. Much love. Anyway, what would the spiders name their fast food restaurant? Let's see, no answers. Web. Okay. 8-leg Louie. Okay, how about Burger King? Burger King. Hey, Klaus Schlauber would love that, right? Burger King. You love spiders? Hey, spiders are great to eat bugs. Burger King. All right, now here's the last question. And you got to get this. Somebody's got to get this. So when you pull up at the window of Burger King, what's the spider inside going to ask you? When you pull up to the window of Burger King, what's the spider inside going to ask you? Mouse never. When you pull up to the window at Burger King, what's the spider inside going to ask you? Now, what do you got to get this one now? Come on. Especially given the conversation we had earlier in the chat. That's what prompted this whole line of jokes. How can I web you? Oh, that's good, Gabby. How do you make a Kleenex dance? Wow. Do you want $6 small fry with it? That's close, David. So the question is, do you want flies with that? David was pretty darn close. Do you want a $6 small fly with that? Yeah. Do you want flies with that? David, you hit it really. Flies time. Time's fun when you have them flies. Do you want flies with that? I was talking about fries earlier, so yeah, David practically got it. What did P. Diddy do? They were after P. Diddy, and supposedly he took off on a jet and turned the transponder off. I don't know. Well, if that was all about, they were after him for something. Put a bugger on it. Yeah, so do you. Time's fun when you have them flies, and do you want flies with that? All right, I got Gabby laughing. There we go. It's good to end the night with some laughter, especially with all the craziness going on, all the sadness, the craziness. Our world is losing its mind. But, here's the key thing. Don't lose your head and don't panic. And sometimes humor helps keep you from going crazy. So there's no amount of everybody else suffering that should cause you to have to lose your mind. What flies there? That's right, Boondock. You think he went to Cuba? Maybe he did. I don't know. Where did P. Diddy go? Oh, ex-Prince Harry? I don't know. P. Diddy. Lordy, lordy, lordy. What a name. P. Diddy. Diddy? P. Diddy? Diddy P? I don't know. P. Diddy. Lordy, lordy, lordy. All right, folks. Tell us where you're from. We're going to call it a night. Letter O. Where you from? We're about to go. We've been on here for 115 minutes. It's already almost 4 a.m. my time, and I got to get up early. It takes me about an hour just to wrap everything up and go to bed around here. So letter O, tell us where you're from. We're going to call it a night here in a minute. Cops are looking into it. What's it all about? What is that all about anyway, does it? Why are they after him? What's cooking? I don't know. Cops are looking into it. No. Australia. All right, Rodney. We know you're from down under. Queensland. All right. Where's everybody else from? Everybody's quiet tonight, falling asleep. Four Corners, New Mexico. It's been freezing. So, okay, I stay in the Four Corners area. That's a good place to be. It's not too far from where I'll be soon, hopefully. Down under, a few blocks south of Rodney. Okay, Gabby, very good. Hillsboro, Western Wokistan, West Wokistan. All right, Chewy. Deep in the heart of Texas, Dixie Doodles. Sex crimes. Yikes. Boondock. I'm going to go back and watch. I missed most of. All right, yeah, go back and catch it on the rewind, Boondock. The news part's in the first part. Then we get in our chitter chatter here at the end. I should set up a members section and save all the chitter chatter for that. That's what Magic Pepper does. Probably keeps them out of trouble. You don't get demonetized like I do. Man, they hit me left and right demonetizing over here. That's why your super chats. Right now, this is the only income stream I got at the moment. I do have a job interview tomorrow, though. I might mess up my plans for retirement. Man, I'm broke. Jeez, my money went poof, especially that darn transmission fiasco. Oh, that's what he's been investigated for. Ooh. Well, if he did, I hope they get him. Yeah. It's gonna take me about an hour. I'm gonna have to go here in a minute. I love shredded potatoes in the frying pan with sliced mushrooms, onions, 3 eggs mixed in, 4 sausages. Hey, the sausage and taters and onions, that would make a good mix. Wet Carolina, that's where you're from, Jacob. All right. Super chats won't take my card. Okay. You can always go to if you want to donate, you can always go to greengregs website, that the .com website. Trafficking. If he's guilty, I hope they get him. Too much food talk. But on my website, if you'll find the donate button, you go to the Buy Worms page, or just see where it says donate, click that and go to the Worms page. All the buttons for buying worms have been disabled, but the donate button's still enabled. PD is supposed to be the Black Harvey Weinstein. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't really know anything about him. I don't keep up with these pop stars. Pop music. Yeah, I don't keep up with those people. They're useless to me. Oh yeah, we did get a nice donation on the 25th of March from Valerie. Oh, that was for a worm purchase. Okay. Oh, 2-pack? They think he was guilty of that. Wow. Thank you, Dixie Diddle. My biggest issue is I don't currently have a security clearance, and that turns most of them off right now. We'll see how that goes. Good morning from Windy, Michigan. How you doing, Mossy Horn Hunter from Windy, Michigan? We're about to go here. We've been going for 2 hours, and I got to get up really early. So we need to go. We got a job interview. So thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you've watched this far and this is your first video and you're not subscribed, subscribe, bang that notification bell, and click all. And share my videos to everyone, because we know this platform is not big on that. So to one and all, a good night, good day, wherever you are.